How many of you out there have a brother? I do, and I happen to be sitting in his house here in Des Moines, Iowa, sitting in his chair, which used to be my chair, and I'm sitting in front of his work of art. Now, this isn't just something that he bought, it's something he made. He created himself. It was inspired by a song, apparently. Now, Adam, what was the song?
King of Carrot Flowers.
King of Carrot Flowers, Part 1
Part 1 by Nutri-Milk Hotel.
Nutri-Milk Hotel.
They no longer play. They started becoming very famous, and the guy freaked out and didn't want to be famous, so he quit the band, and now they no longer play, but they're brilliant.
What do you have in your hand?
Your brother.
What? Who's that?
That's me with my fro.
Was that your real hair?
Yeah.
Dude, it's bad enough we have what we have now. Well, anyway, if you're interested in the painting, just let me know, because it is for sale, and you can contact me. My email address is chris@perillo.com. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is not just to brag about my brother's mad skills, but I've got an email from Finlay Craig, and he writes, I thought I'd drop you an email as I need some help gaining some interest in my brother's blog. I've been watching your videos and keeping up to date with Locker Gnome for some time, and I thought you were the guy to ask. My brother Tim is in his last year of his design degree at the Goldsmiths University in London. His final project is based around magpies dotted around areas of historical and cultural importance in London. The problem is he needs people to see, comment, and appreciate his work. Is there anything you could suggest to help get the word around? My brother is very new to blogging, and this could be a big step for him. Any help would be appreciated, most appreciated. The link to his blog is salutemrmagpie.wordpress.com. That's salutemrmagpie.wordpress.com. And I'll be sure to link to that directly in the show notes as they're posted to my blog at chris.perillo.com. The great thing about blogging and blogging systems and blogging platforms and blogging services like the free ones at WordPress.com is that it makes it easy for you to publish what you're doing. Whether you've got photos, text, video, whatever, you can throw it on the web and get it hosted for cheap if not free. But as far as rising above the noise, well, it's largely going to be centric on what you are publishing. So I don't know how much detail your brother has shared about his particular project, if he's got background notes, if he can break out the specific parts of his projects and highlight each one independent of one another. He's creating a story around the project. I'd be interested in finding out the inspiration and diving into that, how he went about collecting his information, possibly the results, how they could be interpreted, breaking down that project to its as many individual components as he possibly can. Then once that's done and put online, certainly then comments would swell around it. I mean, you wouldn't want to just post, here's my project. You'd want it to be a story, a dialogue. You'd want to ask questions of the audience. Maybe people who are interested in this particular subject, people who have feedback, get it from them. Ask them to contact him with any serious questions. He could then, in turn, take those questions and formulate future blog posts on those questions. And I'm assuming that this sounds like a pretty interesting topic. I, more than anything, as I said, would be interested in finding out the inspiration behind doing this. I'd assume this is about as close as it comes to a thesis, at least in the design world. If it's something that's very visual, as many images that can be posted, the better. As many videos that can be posted, the better. Maybe even some more information about magpies in general. I don't know if I've ever seen a magpie up close. The only magpie I ever remember was Heckle and Jekyll, the cartoons, and I don't think he's talking about cartoons in this case. As long as you treat the blog as kind of a bully pulpit, to which you're publishing to a general audience, and that general audience could be anything, and you treat that audience in a very interactive way. I mean, I'm reading this email saying, here's the email that came in, and talking about it. That's Finlay Craig is a member, or I guess a community member, someone who at least knows what I do, and threw this out here as a question. Well, I'm now turning it into a video and throwing out the idea of what one can do to kind of get the word out. Then the next level, after some of that information has been posted and shared, whether it's been uploaded to YouTube and then posted back to the blog, or uploaded to Flickr or PhotoBucket and then posted back to the blog, is to let other people know about it, potentially other design blogs, and I know there are plenty of those around, or just some general news sites, sites that are interested in covering interesting stories. Once you have that website or that blog assembled as this mouthpiece for your project, people are going to dive in deep. And I think the value of you doing it as in an interactive format, lends much more credibility not only to your knowledge, but specifically to the underlying research that it pretty much brought you to the point of being or having a subject around which to publish this blog. If the content's good, people will come, and certainly if questions can be asked, they will be asked. And as long as you leave that contact form pretty much out in the open and make it very bold, like right on every page, like, do you have a question about this project or anything that surrounds it, ask me. Turn those questions into blog posts. Not only is that giving back to your community, but it's making that project live far beyond its lifespan as a project. That's the whole publishing industry is actually facing that as we evolve with these publishing tools like blogs and blogging as a means and mechanism to get your thoughts from point A to point B. That is, from you to your audience. And books have started to publish websites that are interactive long after the book is actually published, because there's so many questions around this subject, around this topic, and if you don't allow that kind of interactivity, that open interactivity with your audience, you're really not tapping into the full potential of blogging, of video publishing, audio publishing, the internet in general. And this topic is so focused around a project, you're never going to stray too far off the topic, or you never know when that's going to expand into further chances to explain your own passions, your interests, etc. You're going to connect with a lot of people, not only of like-minded nature, but certainly of diametrically opposed people, although I don't know what you could really hold against magpies, unless they offended you or your car at some point in the past. Anyway, those are just the thoughts off the top of my head. I wish you luck and your brother luck, Finley. Let me know how it goes, and I'll certainly be taking a look, and as I said, posting a link to it in my blog, the corresponding blog for this video, at chris.pirillo.com, which is always open for comments. You never really know. My email address, again, is chris@pirillo.com, and when I'm not traveling around the U.S. or the world, then I'm usually at home, but I try my best to continue streaming with live video 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.